Hi, welcome. You are watching Value-Based FM video blog. For those who are new visiting this YouTube channel for the first time, my name is Stephen Lee and I'm the author of the book Value-Based FM. Alright, this year theme is based on continual improvement. How you can adopt a culture of constantly and ongoing looking out for opportunities whereby you can be better than good. So the keyword that we used in the last video is about better than good. And I have questions, in fact 2 questions on Stephen, what should be the cost, the optimum cost for investing in continual improvement to achieve better than good, and whether I can give example. Yes, of course, because you asked for it and this is what the channel is all about, to share my opinion, my experience and practices, so that together we can all achieve value add to our organization. Alright, let's start with what is the optimum cost that we should consider in investing to achieve better than good. Let me show you a graphical example. It says the horizontal is the cost. Alright, the cost of doing the work in your facilities, services on a day-to-day basis. And this vertical is a risk. And although we may always strive for optimizing the cost in terms of achieving the lowest cost for a particular services and yet achieving the expected level of service, right? So at what point that we can consider that the cost is optimum, and that we should always be reviewing and monitoring, and based on the data that we collected to decide upon whether should we go ahead with the improvement. Okay, this is an example of, let's say, the graph. Let me interpret to you about this graph. It will mean that you have been over time spending the cost for the purpose of reducing the risk. But there will be a point, I like to use the word strike point, right, over here, whereby the differential in the cost, the more cost you spend, however, the risk will not be much significantly be reduced. Okay, so we must look up, right? Where is this strike point here that we can go to this level, so that the risk versus the cost. At this point, what is the risk that you have been monitoring? And what is the cost? Okay, what is the risk level and what is the risk that you can reduce? Okay, and to this point here, which I call it the strike point, is at its optimum. Okay, give an example, right? So you may be spending the cost at its almost optimum, lowest cost. But again, what I'm impressing upon you is that, how about considering the risk? Okay, low cost, but the risk may be still at its potentially highest point. Take for example, in cooling water treatment. Okay, one of the solutions to prevent or to minimize the growth of bacteria in the water, right, is to use chlorine. Chlorine is a commodity chemical that is cheap and yet very effective, right? But again, it has impact if it's not being controlled properly. For example, if the control limit for the chlorine is 5 ppm, and if you were to dump it in and you overlook controlling and monitoring, the surge in the chlorine level may attack the steel, the material. And where are they? In the pipe, in the heat exchanger. And what I meant by the risk here, it will mean that if the chlorine is overdosed, and over time it may cause pitting. And when pitting occurs on the says heat exchanger, what may be the consequence? For example, the chiller has to be shut for repair work, and as such, it may create a risk whereby there may not be a standby chiller for the operations chiller, right? So how may we think of alternate solution? How can it be better than before? Right. You may then reduce the cost, okay, to probably 1 arrow. Means from 3 arrow to 1 arrow. That means it may cost you more by using biocide. Okay, biocide for the water treatment to reduce the bacteria or to prevent bacterial growth. But this cost reduction here may cause the risk, okay, to be reduced to only 1 arrow. And of course, with this risk, you avoid, okay, losses of operations due to the avoidable pitting, which if we can take into consideration what may be the impact to the risk. Okay, I hope this example is easy for you to understand, because we are not looking out just for the cheapest, but again, what solution can be effective to prevent the risk that may impact, that in turn may impact to the business operations. Alright, for those of you who are watching this, right, this year's theme is on continual improvement, and we are into the 9th installment. Today is September 2022, whereby this video will be posted up on the first Wednesday every month. If you find this information useful to you, then and I strongly encourage that you subscribe and hit the bell sign so that you'll be informed whenever there's a new post being uploaded. Alright, I will see you next month, first Wednesday. And of course, if you have any question, please feel free to message me questions so that I know your concern, and if I may, I will address during the video blog. Alright, so I'll see you next month. Okay, goodbye.